Alright, hello folks, this is the Insider. My name is Lance, and this is my take on the Project Cafe controller. As you can see, it's obviously not a really substantial drawing of any sorts, but we have here a substantial or unsubstantial sketch kind of mock-up thing going on here based on all the rumors that have been going on in this whole gaming community of what the controller will look like and what it will do and blah blah blah. And there's been a constant thread of seemingly anti-Nintendo sentiments going on here. Like, including IGN will just bring up, oh, Nintendo, in an attempt to finally get back the third-party game that, the third-party game developers that they never really cared about anyways, is finally going to make a system that's more powerful. Oh, but it's only going to have 8 gigabytes of flash memory. Maybe they're finally not ready. As if that's the only reason that Nintendo, with any hopes of being a major video game company and making billions of dollars the last 5 years, might only want to do this for whatever reason. But the point being, there's other types of things that they might want to do this with. And when I started trying to sketch things, on the paper and whatnot, I noticed that this would be a pretty ugly controller with a 6-inch screen, unless it's more tablet-like. So I drew, we know it's 6 inches, but we don't know by what. If it's only 6 by 3, that's a pretty narrow controller going on here. And what I've got right here is 6 by 4 inches. Now if you got double analog, which about an inch, I kind of messed up on this side, but if you got about an inch each, 2 double analogs, the D-stick, buttons, and, I put down here, like, this is from, like, what you'd see on a 3DS, but I don't think that would actually work because you couldn't actually reach it with your hands. But, built-in camera and whatnot. And I think some of these features that we could see is, like, the Meme Maker. You touch the screen and, you take a picture of yourself, like, oh my God, oh look, I took a picture of myself, and you'd be like, oh look, a me, wow, it's automatically made, This could really bridge the gap between what we think of a console system, you could play a system and be like, oh look, I'm playing Grand Theft Auto, oh look, Grand Theft Auto, oh, it's so great, right? But music, photos, music, whatever, but at the palm of your hand, and wherever you want in the house, in the house or whatever. And this will allow Nintendo to get a lot of those kind of useful apps, that you have on an Android, like the Android phone I'm using, or an iPad or whatever, things that even your mom or your sister or someone else might use, but a gamer might not necessarily use, like the cooking game that they had on the DS. You could see that brought back, and oh, it's a full brand new cooking game. You bring this into the kitchen, you're like, oh, well, isn't this great? I could just bring it into the kitchen. So obviously it's not going to look like this, but if you get a better perspective, obviously that's a piece of paper, and it's probably pretty boring to look at, but at least you get the sound of my voice, which is always nice. Not perfect, but something. Still, mostly what I copied from is, these are just circles. I guess the power of imagination in this is that you'd need, like, at least those, what is that called, the push pad, I forgot, whatever they call it on the 3DS. But if you had 2 of those, it would work adequately, D-pad and things like this. Also these icons, if you look real closely, you might not notice. These icons, when I put, if you had about 3 lines worth of these icons are actually from the 3DS. That's the biggest icon that is displayed on the 3DS. So when you think about it, a lot of what could potentially be on the 3DS in terms of what they're offering on the eShop and the icons and things like this, we could end up seeing on Project Cafe. And they could bring back all the great games that worked really well on DS, but might not work as well on the 3DS. All the touch generation games, maybe Elite Beat Agents, and hopefully we'll see some better things going on, So, stay in touch. This is like my first real video, so I'll try and make something better next time, but stay tuned.